I'm reacting to World War II by Oversimplified. Please sit back and relax, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get into it.
It's 1902. A young man by the name of Benito Mussolini moves from Italy
Mussolini?
to avoid military service. He gets big into socialism, working for trade unions, writing for socialist newspapers, advocating a violent overthrow of European monarchies, the whole shebang. This gets him in a bit of trouble with
That is my mod. Every time we play golf.
the Swiss police. So he gets arrested, sent back to Italy, set free, returns to Switzerland, is arrested again, goes back to Italy again,
Look at
completes
him.
military service after previously avoiding it, and then after a brief stint as an elementary school teacher,
He was a teacher? I never knew that Mussolini was a teacher. Imagine you can say, yeah, so, my teacher was Mussolini. Oopsie, haha. Did you learn anything valuable from him? No, I did not.
finally returns to work as an avid socialist. His speeches and journalistic abilities made him famous among Italian socialists.
I like the colors.
So when Italy colonized Libya in 1910, he rioted and got arrested.
Again?
World War I came along, and
How often did this man get arrested? This is like something I don't know about World War II, because obviously as a German, alright, we only hear like what we did, what happened with our country, what we kind of did, but like Italy, Japan and all that kind of stuff mostly was not really in like school what we learned about. We mostly just learned about what we per se did. So this is a bit of new information for me.
once again, he protested Italy's involvement. But then he thought, wait a minute, this war could bring about the social climate needed to overthrow European monarchies and bring about the socialist
He wants Rome!
And
The Roman Empire!
But his fellow socialists didn't like his new pro-war stance, so they kicked him out of the party. So
And he got arrested.
You know what? I'm done with socialism. We need something new, not based on class divisions tearing us apart, but based on unity through nationality.
Yeah, how about you go bald? Wasn't Mussolini bald?
We'll conquer the Mediterranean and reunite all Italian peoples, just like the days of the Roman Empire.
Yeah, Roman Empire.
Fascismo, and guide the Italian nation to
no.
greatness. That's all well and good, Mr. Mussolini, but what kind of haircut am I giving
Bald!
you? Let's
Bald!
go with bold.
Yeah! He went bald! Look at the evil bald man. Oversimplified World War II.
Italy had been on the winner's side in World War I, and they hoped they were going to get a lot out of it, but in the end, they only got a little. And
they didn't get anything.
That, a bad economy and weak governments meant that the Italian people were a little unhappy. So when Mussolini came along and said that he could fix everything,
the evil bald man! Look at his vein. Look at his vein. Remember that vein on his head.
A lot of support. In 1922, he went to the king and said, make me prime minister or I'll make me prime minister. And the king said, you and my army. This army.
Oh! He has an army of bald people. Is that why he went bald? So you can have an army of bald people?
Fair enough. Then he went about establishing a dictatorship with himself at its center. Europe had its first fascist Germany had been on the loser side, and they got absolutely wrecked by the Treaty of Versailles.
Oh, no.
They lost territory, had to demilitarize the Rhineland, had to reduce their army to just 100,000 men, couldn't have an air force, had to pay a huge amount of money that it didn't have. And
I know about that.
That every Englishman withheld the right to walk into the center of Berlin, pick out any German they wanted, and spank the hell out of them. What
do you mean? Wait, what? No, that... I'm not sure if that's correct. I did not know about that one? Question mark?
That last one up, but it helps you understand how all this felt to Germans. On top of that,
he made it up.
Never mind. Governments meant that when a small angry man with a silly mustache came along and said that he could fix everything, German people loved it. Hitler had been a solder during World War I, and he was crazy.
Weird mustache man,
nobody was madder than him
and weird bald man.
He helped start a new political party, and in 1923 attempted a march on Munich with his boys.
No, with his boys.
But his
he got arrested too. They all get arrested. I mean, good, but they should have just kept him in jail. All right, just keep this evil man in jail. He got a weird mustache. All right, that's an indicator. If you out there have a weird mustache, beware. All right, you just shave it off. I think the mustache makes people evil. Either the mustache or bald people. What if you were bald and had a weird mustache? Would that make you double evil?
popularity grew and grew, and in 1933, the president made him chancellor. He believed he was Germany's great destined savior, establishing a dictatorship with himself at its center. Europe had fascist dictator number 2. Hitler and Mussolini had a lot of the same ideas. But
oh my god, they were the bestest friends.
They had the same enemies, and they started to get along. Anyone else want?
Yo! They were doing yowie. Oh my god, World War II was just doomed yowie.
Want to be friends? Franco? No?
No?
You
no.
Do? I do. Who's that? It's Japan, and they've taken over China. Let's rewind a bit. Japan had isolated itself from the rest of the world for over 200 years until the Americans showed up and said, you're going to trade with us and you're going to like it. Then the Western powers imposed a bunch of unequal treaties, meaning Japan's economy was bust. They also had no natural resources, so they decided to go get some. They went
okay.
Influence over Korea.
I mean, yeah, if you don't have anything, you want to get it.
Said, hey, cut that out. And since Japan couldn't take on the West, they said, okay, I guess we'll just go home. Wait a minute, what are you doing? Taking advantage of a weakened China and setting up spheres of influence. I was the one who weakened them. We know. And you guys didn't let me have anything. We know. That seems unfair.
We know.
We don't think so. Okay, see ya. So Japan thought, screw this, and went to war with Russia, and still they actually win it. Then they fully annexed Korea, but they didn't stop there. In World War I, they took Germany's colonies and islands in Asia. And then in an incident that...
We had colonies and islands? I mean, I know we had colonies like in Africa and shit, but I didn't know we had islands. Imagine having an island. Oh, I wish I had an island. Just living on there, being at peace, no people around, just going to the mainland to get like reserves of Red Bull and Monster Energy. Yes. Yeah, pain in the ass to get pizza deliveries to that island though, but I could make it work.
Was maybe staged by the Japanese army, a bomb blew up a Japanese train in Manchuria, giving them an excuse to launch an invasion and take over. So here's the situation. Nazi Germany, Fascist Italy, and Japan all believe they're racially superior, all feel hostility towards the Allies, and all want to militarize and take over more stuff. And so they did. Let's start with Germany. Hitler hated the Treaty of Versailles, and now he was ready to begin undoing it. In complete violation of the treaty, the first Luftwaffe squadrons were set up, conscription was introduced, and he pimped up his army.
What was that called? The gun. The gun had a name. I think the Big Goose Stuff or something. The Big Goose Stuff. The Goose Stuff? There could be a fire name for a magical staff that can be used by me. The Goose Staff.
The Allies did nothing. Then Hitler sent his army back into the demilitarized Rhineland, giving orders to immediately retreat if the Allies showed up. The Allies did nothing. With his military re-strengthened,
jazz up the army, take over the world,
he wanted to rapidly increase the Aryan population, and to do so, he needed Lebensraum, or in other words, he would have to take over the world. But for now, a good portion of Europe would do, and he began eyeing up his neighbors. The Allies finally started to get worried, so they implemented a fairly useless diplomatic strategy called appeasement, and it went a little something like this. Hitler would say, I want that thing, and the Allies would say, you can't have that thing. Okay, you can have that thing, but no more.
I want that thing. No, little German boy, don't take the Austrians. But I want this. Okay, little German boy, only this time. They said that like 5 times and suddenly Germany did bullshit.
I want that thing. And repeat. In 1938, Hitler's army marched into Austria and just took it, with no resistance.
Yeah.
This is Germany now. Next, he demanded to be given the Sudetenland, an area of Czechoslovakia with ethnic Germans. The Allies held a meeting with Hitler in Munich and said, look, we're going to give you what... Hang on. This meeting is about my territory. Shouldn't I come to the meeting too?
No, you're not important.
Anyway, we're going to give you what you want.
Oh,
really? Yeah.
Cool.
Just like that? Yep. What's the catch? Just sign this piece of paper promising you won't invade the rest of Czechoslovakia. Okay. Then Chamberlain returned home victorious, waving his signed piece of paper in the air.
He lied.
Crisis to be averted and the continuation of world peace. And we built a statue of Chamberlain in his honor. And every day on the 30th of September we celebrate
the happy ending.
He's invading the rest of Czechoslovakia.
Never mind.
What? He's invading the rest of Czechoslovakia. Oh.
I'm sorry, man. He lied. All right. It's not your fault. You believed in the good in humans, but that's a mustache man. There is no good in this guy.
You lied to me. What do you expect? I'm Hitler. Not to be outdone.
What do you expect? I'm the mustache man.
He thought to himself, isn't there a not yet colonized nation somewhere which is so underdeveloped that the people would be defending themselves against our tanks with literal bows and arrows and wooden spears? Oh, there is?
Abunesia.
And so he took it. Italy also wanted to control the entrance to the Adriatic Sea.
Adriatic Sea, okay.
Then, in
What did the evil bald man want with Albania? He just took Albania. I didn't know that. Okay.
another incident which was maybe staged by the Japanese.
Maybe, probably.
Japanese and Chinese troops at the Marco Polo Bridge. And
there's a Marco Polo Bridge in China?
They swept through Beijing and Shanghai, and then advanced through the Yangtze Valley to China's then capital, Nanking. It was here that saw the worst of Japan's shocking atrocities committed against the Chinese people.
Somehow I heard about that before, but I can't put my finger on it.
Back in Europe, Germany and Italy made
we're not talking about the atrocities, I guess.
Pact of Steel. Then Hitler turned his eyes towards Poland.
For that, you have to buy the DLC.
Splitting Germany in two. At this point, the Allies really had to put their foot down, and they warned him that an invasion of Poland would mean war. Hitler
don't you do it, little German boy!
Eastward, but he didn't want to end up fighting war
no.
So for now,
don't do it.
To Stalin, saying, "How about we both invade Poland and split it between the two of us? And I definitely won't not refrain from not betraying you sometime."
And I definitely won't not refrain from not betraying you sometime in the... What? Huh? Wait, so is this a double negative? I definitely won't. I will not. I will refrain from not... I'll get it.
Sounds good. This new line stunned
you know what? I didn't get it either, Stalin. So you can't even be mad.
And Britain and France
I didn't get it either.
On Germany.
Poland.
Poles fought hard, but they were no match for the two giants crashing down on them from either side. Then came a period known as the Phony War, where everyone just sort of sat around not doing much.
Hey, this guy's a big fat phony!
To the Saarland, but they maintained mostly defensive positions, and after a while decided to just turn around.
Who wants to go home?
Speaking of France, the French were still super proud of their victory in World War I, and they hadn't really moved on from it. They still used horses. They
they still had horses?
Using radio. Orders from the commander-in-chief were usually pretty vague.
Do drills and stuff.
Were rarely inspected.
I literally can even see right now Lamau.
Along the German border, but didn't bother extending it all the way to the channel.
Yeah. That line that had like all those defense bunkers and shit looked really cool. Like when I saw pictures of that back in the day, like when I was in school, like those bunkers and like those defense things, they looked really cool. But kind of stupid that they didn't like build it all along the border.
Strikes against Germany out of fear of being retaliated.
Did we shoot? Nah.
In a war. They didn't want to attack the enemy. And at first the UK wasn't much better. Chamberlain still naively hoped that the war could be ended.
He still thought about the good in humans.
The RAF dropped propaganda leaflets over German cities, which one air marshal said likely did nothing but provide the continent with toilet paper for...
Okay, wait. It is not called the Autenhausen. We do not call outside toilets the Autenhausen. That is not a real word. That's not even how you write it if it would be German, because house in German is AU and only one S, alright? So that's wrong, alright?
The duration of the war. They also only sent 200,000 men to France, while the French had mobilized millions. Both Britain and France wanted to avoid a repeat of the First World War, and so they wanted to keep
trench
the war as
warfare.
far from home as possible.
We learned about that last time.
North, towards Norway. Neutral Sweden was exporting iron ore to Germany through neutral Norway. So the Allies asked them if they could please stop exporting iron ore to Germany, but this request was refused.
Hey, could you please stop giving Germany that iron, please? Germany, please. No, Lamau.
Then the Soviet Union attacked Finland. So the Allies said,
okay, yeah, I know about that.
And move them across Sweden to go help out your good pal Finland, and maybe take control of all your airfields. But Norway and Sweden still said no. So the UK lined the waters around Norway to force any transport ships into international waters, and they also attacked a German tanker that found in the area. Hitler realized what the Allies were up to, and he quickly moved to secure his supply of iron ore. He launched an invasion through Denmark into Norway.
Wait, but why? Okay, I don't get that. Why did he invade Norway if Norway was not even like on the Allied side or any side? If they were neutral, and they were allowing Sweden, which is also neutral, like the delivery of iron ore. So that's kind of stupid. That's kind of mean. It's a mustache, man. Of course it's mean. I'm just saying.
Norway. The Allies rushed to land troops at key ports along the coast, but Germany had taken control of Norway's airfields, and their air superiority decided the fight.
Pew, pew, pew.
The Allies had to retreat. After this slightly embarrassing failure, Chamberlain resigned and was replaced with Winston Churchill.
Yo! Churchill, the man, the myth, the legend.
Strategy was similar to Germany's First World War strategy. Attack France, defeat France, knocking out the UK in the process, then turn on the Soviet Union and win the war. During the phony war, the Allies had given Hitler time to prepare his forces. Now, he was ready to attack. The Allies had wanted to place troops in Belgium.
Hey man, could you let our armies in? Hell no, I'm not letting you do that again. Belgium learned from World War I and said, hell no, not again.
And in a move that surprised pretty much no one, Hitler launched an invasion to get around France's defenses. The Allies charged into Belgium at full speed to meet the German invasion head-on, and it looked like a repeat of the First World War was coming. But this time,
trench warfare.
Blitzkrieg. As the Germans advanced, they sent thousands of refugees westward, slowing down.
I still don't know what that is, by the way. I heard that term so often, even in school, but I think I just never really understood what that term means.
And the Allies. Then, to the south, the French had left the Ardennes, an area full of hills and forests, pretty underdefended because they thought it was naturally impenetrable. Well, the Germans were about to penetrate it with it.
The Germans were about to impregnate that mountain valley. I don't know.
Everything they had. They smashed 50 Wehrmacht divisions through and encircled the Allied armies at lightning speed. The best of the Allied forces were now trapped. The Germans squeezed in from all sides, taking out France's best armies and nearly wiping out the British too. But they managed to make a desperate last-minute escape at Dunkirk, with British civilian ships even making the perilous journey to bring their young men home. With most of the French forces depleted, the Germans breezed through, taking Paris, and France fell. What the Germans couldn't do in World War I, Hitler had done just like that. Hitler hoped that with the fall of France, the UK would also lose hope and sue for peace. But quite annoyingly, it didn't.
Never surrender.
To secure the Western Front, so he tried to force them into submission with mind games. The UK were now all alone, and Hitler wanted to emphasize that. First of all, just before France fell, Italy finally declared war on the Allies, making the UK's situation even worse. Next, instead of just occupying all of...
It's kind of crazy though, like, if you look at that map, all of that is red now. And if you remember, like, from last time, from the World War I video, there was, like, the complete opposite. It was, like, the complete opposite, which is kind of insane.
France, Hitler occupied the coastal areas for defense, but allowed France to continue its existence as a German puppet state. This way, it looked like the UK's old ally had decided to switch sides. Hitler also hoped that the UK wouldn't attack any of her old allies' navy bases or colonies in Africa, giving Hitler an extra line of defense to the south. But the UK made sure to respond to this by sailing down to France's navy base in Nigeria and wrecking a bunch of ships. So have at it. Hitler then began
I love the peace sign with Churchill.
Laying down plans for an invasion of Great Britain before German troops could land on British soil. He would first need air and naval superiority across the Channel. Waves of German bombers came, while the completely outnumbered RAF worked bravely around the clock in an attempt to quell the German attacks. At first, the Luftwaffe targeted British ports and coastal facilities. Then it attacked RAF bases, crippling the RAF's ability to defend the nation. And it looked like Hitler's Great British invasion was coming. But then, Churchill ordered a small, pretty insignificant bombing raid over Berlin. It didn't do much damage, but Hitler was furious, and he immediately ordered...
Furious. Furious. Okay, that was a good one. That was a good one. That made me chuckle. Alright? That was a good one. I like that one.
The Luftwaffe to refocus its attacks on civilian targets in London. Children were sent off to the countryside, away from their parents to avoid danger.
I know about that. There was like this Ethel and Ernest cartoon thingy. That was very interesting. I really liked that one, where they like showed it like from the British perspective when that happened and shit.
The occurrence, but British morale held firm. Smiling, knitting, lounging casually, these people have balls of steel. This focusing on London also gave the RAF breathing space to reorganize, so Hitler kind of shot himself in the foot there. Just the foot for now. Finally, the Luftwaffe sent one massive all-out attack on London, and the RAF successfully repelled it, destroying many of the German aircraft and placing air superiority firmly in British hands. Hitler's invasion had to be postponed, but the bombing of British cities continued for some time. Well, when I said Britain was all alone, that wasn't entirely true. Many Commonwealth nations and other allied colonies joined the war in
America. What else do we have there? Australia, Canada. Never forget about Canada. World War II without Canada is like bacon without eggs, you know? Like Canada, they did some things. I mean, Whew. It was World War II, I think, right? Where they did said things. The Canadians are very nice people. I'm totally not scared of them.
They would play a key role throughout the war, particularly in the African and Italian campaigns. On the Axis side, Germany, Italy, and Japan signed the Defensive Tripartite Pact, bringing their military alliance even closer together. The Soviet Union's war against Finland should have been an easy victory, but it became a humiliating struggle, and their military ineptitude was put on full display.
Ooh.
In the end, they did force the Finns to sue for peace. Then, they continued their honorable campaign.
Yeah, but the Finns won. It's kind of insane.
The Baltic states and part of northern Romania. France is called...
I mean, kind of, yeah, right? Like, the Finns did not get defeated, so Finland, hats off to you. Like, against Russia is kind of crazy.
Colonies in equatorial Africa were like, heck no, we aren't going to join the Germans, and they all pledged their allegiance to free France, except for Gabon, which had to be taken by military force. The Allies also tried to capture the strategic port of Dakar, but that ended in failure. Mussolini had seen Hitler's successes, and he thought now it was Italy's time to shine. So he tried to take Somaliland, and that went pretty well. Then he tried to take Egypt, and that went less well. Then he tried to take Greece, and that went really badly. Churchill began
They fought against Greece and lost?
to Italy as Europe's soft underbelly.
Damn, the burn,
he began
the fucking burn.
A campaign from the south and started sending British troops to Greece. All of this had Hitler pretty concerned, and he moved to protect.
What the fuck, man?
Front. He had been getting friendly with Hungary and twisted their arm into signing the Tripartite Pact and joining the Axis powers. Romania was also eager to join for protection against the Soviet Union.
Romania joined us as well. Wait. Oh no! Okay, wait. I knew Romania was somehow involved in all of it, but I did not think they would just like join. I thought they were like, you know, conquered, forced to join, but no, they just joined?
The Tripartite Pact was designed to prevent any other countries from deciding to join the Allies, specifically Britain's old ally, the pesky United States of America. When war first broke out, American public opinion was strongly against joining in. In 1940, there was an election. The Republican
Franklin D. Roosevelt and Wendell Willkie.
Americans to die in Europe, and sitting President Franklin D. Roosevelt said, "I will also not send any young Americans to die in Europe, unless I have to."
Unless I have to.
And Roosevelt won. Churchill asked him to join the war, but Roosevelt said, "No can do, Winston, but you know what? Here, have some weapons." America began supplying the Allies with food and munitions, but there was one problem. German U-boats were sinking thousands of Allies ships in the
big ocean,
including American ones. If the Germans could sever Britain's supply line, the UK would starve. Throughout the war, the Allies had to come up with better technology to fight the U-boats. Improved radar, aircraft with longer range. That was a cool-looking aircraft. At one point, the man even called a meeting and said, "Pykrete, you take some wood, you take some ice, you put them together, you get pykrete." And then he pulled out a gun and shot some wood, and it shattered. And then he shot some pykrete, and the bullet ricocheted off it and hit someone.
What is pykrete? That's the first time I ever heard about this. The fuck is pykrete?
Else in the conference room.
I love it.
To make a pykrete aircraft carrier, but that idea was scrapped because that's a really dumb idea.
Oh,
in the end, Alan Turing and his team of codebreakers cracked Germany's Enigma code, and the U-boats
became less the Enigma and less thingy.
Back in Africa, Britain decided to push Italy out of Egypt. Hey,
we also didn't learn much about the Enigma code in school. I'll be quite honest. Weirdly enough, I don't remember many lessons about Enigma at all. That wasn't covered much.
That was pretty easy, so they kept going.
Oh!
Hitler realized he was going to have to finally step in.
Seriously, man, what the fuck?
He went to Bulgaria and Yugoslavia and said, "Hey, I'm going to move troops through you to get to Greece, so either join us or, you know, invaded." Bulgaria opted to join them. Yugoslavia opted to be invaded. Then Greece finally fell to the joint German-Italian invasion. The British had moved troops from North Africa to fight in Greece, which helped Rommel and his tank divisions push the British back to Egypt. And they could have kept going, but a small, mostly Australian force held out under siege for 8 months in Tobruk, denying the Germans a strategic...
Yeah, the Australians! They were kangaroos they're fighting or something.
City and disrupting their supply line. Despite having some success in the
quite funny.
East, the British didn't seem like any real threat for now. Hey, Soviet Union, look out.
Surprise invasion.
With 3 million troops, Hitler launched the largest ground invasion in history, and Stalin was far from ready. Both Churchill and Roosevelt had warned him of an impending...
Dude, watch out.
But he dug his head in the sand.
Nah,
and the Soviets
I don't believe
didn't
it.
stand a chance. Germany made staggering progress, with huge encircling movements capturing mind-boggling numbers of Russian troops.
Oh, damn.
At Bialystok, Minsk, 300,000 at Smolensk, nearly 700,000 at Kiev, and again at Vyazma and Bryansk. Leningrad was put under a siege that would last an insufferable 4 years. The invasion of Russia had been hit.
It's still insane. Look how much ground that is that they covered. This is the greed also the Bible is talking about, by the way. Like, they had more than enough land. Okay, and most of Russia, anything that's up north there, right, is not even habitable, right? Because it's all just mountains and shits. Mountains and snow and all that.
Hitler's main ideological goal from the beginning, and his hatred for the ethnic peoples there, was now unleashed in all its fury. The Eastern Front of the Second World War was brutal for all that endured it. The Germans were now inside of Moscow, and that's it.
Oh, there's Moscow.
But then...
Is it a bratwurst there? That's a hammer and a sausage. I just noticed that.
It happened. It got cold.
It got cold.
Hitler had hoped the Soviets would give up before winter, but they kept fighting. His commanders came to him and said, "Can we please dig in for the winter and wait until spring?" "No. Keep going." "But oil is literally freezing inside our vehicles." "That's fine. Keep going."
We're
having to leave the corpses of our frozen horses
keep
on the
going
side of the road so we can still find our way in the snowdrift. Perfectly normal. Keep going. Hitler hadn't given his millions of men winter clothing and supplies because he thought he really should have won by now. Then,
seriously, what the fuck?
Troops from the Siberian front, specially trained to fight in the extreme cold.
Go get it, boys!
Were no match. They were now being pushed back. They had no choice but to dig in and wait for winter to end. Germany's victories were staggering, and Japan was eager not to miss the victory bus.
Wait for me! Yeah, what did Japan do all that time? What did Japan do? We were focusing now on Italy and Germany and all that, but what did Japan do?
The war in China had come to a standstill, but they wanted to keep expanding their sphere of influence and get sweet, sweet raw materials.
Oh, baby, give me those oils.
But there was a problem. Southeast Asia was heavily colonized by America and Great Britain. It was also full of ocean. Ocean meant naval combat, and there was no way the Japanese Navy could stand up to the US and the UK. So they thought, wouldn't it be nice if we could destroy their navies before we begin our conquest? And so it was. On December 7th, 1941,
that's when they did the thing.
A surprise air raid on the US Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor and inflicted a huge amount of damage. They also attacked British colonies in
Pearl Harbor, the thing that sealed the deal for Japan.
Southeast Asia. Roosevelt had no choice but to declare war on Japan, and so did Churchill. Hitler then declared war on America, even though he totally didn't have to. The attack on Pearl Harbor seemed like a big Japanese victory, but they didn't attack any of the naval repair yards, fuel storage tanks, or the submarine base. The Pacific Fleet would be up and running again.
So they destroyed the ships, but not the means to repair said ships and everything. It was a smart move in retrospect, because if they did not if they would have not done this, we wouldn't have any goated anime now. You know, One Piece would not be a thing without this. Think about it.
Soon. In the meantime, though, the Japanese were able to begin their conquest. They
took Pokemon.
The Gilbert Islands, Wake Island, Hong Kong, and the Philippines. They forced Thailand to join them so they could march their troops through to Malaya. They swept through Singapore, North Borneo.
They took Thailand. They took the femboys. They took the femboys and the ladyboys and everything.
The East Indies,
greedy.
Guinea,
They're greedy,
and they were now threatening northern Australia and the borders of India. Japan's victory had been as staggering as the Germans, and it reinforced the Japanese idea that this was a divine war they were destined to win. But their victory was based on speed, not power, and power would eventually catch up with them.
Manhattan Project, yeah.
Now, though, in all occupied nations, the people suffered persecution, forced labor, harsh punishments for any who.
Look at this map. Look at this map. Holy shit. Is Finland just on its own? Like, is Finland not part of, like, anyone? That's crazy. Like, you have those two big giants, those two alliances, and then there's Finland. And also, let's not forget here, good old Switzerland, which was neutral. And I think right here, there is Liechtenstein.
Spoke out against their occupiers. In Europe, the Nazis were rounding up ethnic minorities and other unwanted groups and individuals. In particular, millions of Jewish people would suffer through the terrible events of the Holocaust. Brave resistance movements rose up in defiance of their invaders.
The White Rose
held out for hope. And
I think the White Rose. I think it was called the White Rose. That one big resistance group in Germany. Pretty sure.
Hope was coming. Winter was over, and Hitler could continue his push eastward. But this time, he switched up his strategy. He wanted to focus on the south. His plan was to cut off the Russian armies in the Caucasus, an area full of oil, and then invade the Caucasus and take all the oil. His forces moved across the north with ease, and Hitler got cocky. He rerouted the 4th Panzer Army south early, leaving the 6th Army to complete the encircling movement alone. To do so, the 6th Army had to reach and take the key Soviet city of Stalingrad. The Russians defended it fiercely.
Yeah, I heard about Stalingrad.
The harshest fighting of the entire war. The Soviets held up the German advance for 5 months as they battled in the war.
Those are the bones of a house. Those are the bones, the really bare bones of any building. They really made a good representation of that, I think, in, what is the game called again? Hell Let Loose. There we go. I have so many hours in Hell Let Loose because it was pretty much a fun game to play. But, yeah, no. Hell Let Loose really, I think, showed it almost exactly like this when you're, like, at the Eastern Front.
City, which bought them valuable time. When the Germans had first launched their invasion a year earlier, the Soviets had moved their factories to the east. Those factories had been building a butt
You can move factories? They just take the whole ass factory and moved it?
Gathered his new and improved forces around the city, and in an attack that resembled Hitler's own encirclement tactics, they began surrounding the 6th Army. Hitler's commanders came to him and said, "Hey, maybe we should retreat." But Hitler said, "No, you stay."
You stay. I love that little gun like this.
With complete air superiority, the Soviets started pushing westward. For Stalin, it was a resounding victory. For Hitler, an absolute catastrophe. Things also weren't looking too good for Hitler elsewhere. With America now in the war, Allied bombing over German cities reached
Hamburg, Dresden.
In Africa, the British had pushed Rommel back again. Then they were pushed back again, and finally, after a decisive battle at El Alamein, and with American and British troops arriving in the west, the Germans and Italians were squeezed out of Africa. Japan was also already...
The Italians, what are they even doing?
Turned around. They attempted to take the island of Midway, but the US Navy was ready for
Midway,
the attack, and they sank Japan's carrier. Actually, they sank a lot of them. It was a battle from which the Japanese Navy would never recover. British, Indian, and Chinese troops held the line in the harsh jungle terrain of Burma, and the Japanese...
I think this is the turnaround moment.
In New Guinea. They began to realize they were not invincible. With the Axis out of Africa, the Allies had to decide their next move. Churchill still wanted to attack from the south, while the Americans preferred a full sea invasion in northern France. All right, said the Americans, we'll do it your way. Allied forces successfully landed in Sicily and began moving north. They also carried out bombing raids over Rome. The thing was, many of the people in Sicily had relatives living in America.
Antonio, is that you? It is Luigi, come and get a hug.
Most Italians just weren't that into it, and Mussolini was suddenly very unpopular. He was voted out by his own fascist Grand Council and was toppled from power. Italy immediately began negotiations for surrender. Hitler wasn't surprised and had already sent reinforcements southward. In an operation he ironically called Operation Axis, German troops quickly disarmed Italian troops in the north. The Allies continued fighting the Germans up through Italy, but then winter set in, meaning mud, and everything slowed down.
More winter.
All right, said the Americans, let's do it our way as well. Germany had made itself a lot of enemies, and millions of Allied troops had been gone in England as factories worked around the clock producing the war material needed for a super crazy massive the likes of which the world has never seen before in
Holy smokes!
The Germans knew an Allied invasion would come, but they didn't know where it would land. Thanks to Allied deception tactics, they thought there was a pretty good chance it would come at Calais, but the Allies were really going to land in Normandy because it was less fortified and the beaches were
Normandy.
With the planning of General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the invasion that had been long in the making was just about ready to go. Just one thing was preventing the launch: the British weather. For a short while, everyone sat around
British weather, of course.
And then it came. On the night of June 5th, over 1,000 bombers took off and raided coastline defenses, while paratroopers were dropped inland in a bit of a chaotic operation, tasked with sabotaging defenses and capturing key bridges to stop any German reinforcements from reaching the beaches. Early the next morning, the barrage came, as Allied ships...
That is it. Is that D-Day?
German fortifications, and then the landings. The Americans at Utah and Omaha, the British at Golden D-Day, and the Canadians at Juneau. It was a tremendous struggle with a great loss of life.
Oh my god.
Particularly at Omaha.
That is insane. And those airships, oh my god, I love the airships. I love the airships, okay? The airships, they make me happy.
But the Allied troops captured the beaches, and the landings were a success. Then they began their movements inland. They took the port of Cherbourg and the city of Caen. The Americans moved south to capture Britain.
Where are they now? In France,
right? In a disaster for the Germans, British and Canadian troops from the north and Americans from the south trapped the German 7th Army in a near wipeout encircling movement. In August, Allied troops landed in the south of France to little resistance. On one beach, all they found was a Frenchman handing out champagne.
Mes amis!
And the Germans were pushed out of France as the Allies entered Belgium. In the Far East, the Allies started to push the Japanese out of Burma, as the Americans launched a two-pronged offensive in the Pacific. In the south, General MacArthur led the push to liberate the Philippines, while General Nimitz oversaw the brutal island-hopping campaign.
Where even is Japan? That is Japan up there. If I forget, this all is not Japan. I mean, not really. This is the original Japan. Okay, I get it.
Had to make hard-fought landing after hard-fought landing on
all the small islands. Yeah.
As they moved steadily towards the Japanese mainland. The Japanese believed that the greatest thing a person could do was to die in battle, and the most dishonorable act was to surrender. As a result, they fought ferociously to the very end. And the closer the Americans got to the mainland, the more ferocious the resistance became. In
Iwo Jima.
1945, the Americans captured the island of Iwo Jima, and an intense firebombing campaign of Japan's wooden cities began.
Okay.
Some setbacks trying to.
Yeah, okay, the map looks hella different now. The map looks already hella different. All that red gone.
Liberate the Netherlands, but they were making progress and were now threatening the industrial heartland of Germany. Hitler's health, both mentally and physically, was rapidly deteriorating. Things were looking bad, and he was desperate. He said, "We need to turn this thing around. Not just a trick." Remember a few years back when we blitzkrieged through the Ardennes and trapped the Allied forces in Belgium?
Do it again?
The exact same thing. Again.
Okay.
His forces and tried to pound them through the Ardennes. He used up the remainder of Germany's strength and resources, and he managed to create quite a nice bulge. He also trapped some American forces in the Belgian town of Bastogne. The Germans sent the trapped Americans a message saying surrender or be annihilated. When it was read out to the commanding officer, he said, "They want to surrender? No, sir, they want us to surrender." Nuts! And that's what they sent off as their official reply. General Patton's army then managed to break the siege from the south.
I never heard about that one.
The Germans were pushed back. Hitler's last-ditch attempt had failed, and what followed was a total collapse of the German forces. The Allies pushed into Germany from both sides. The Soviet Union took Warsaw and kept pushing to Berlin. In this bunker, Hitler realized all hope was lost. Berlin fell, and with it, Hitler's dreams of a great German empire. Two of the Axis nations had been knocked out. One to go.
Only Japan. Now the big thing is happening.
The last island before they would reach the Japanese mainland. The desperate Japanese fought hard, launching kamikaze attacks on US ships. The citizens of Okinawa.
Imagine being a kamikaze pilot. It's insane to me. Maybe it's just like insane to me, but like, just imagine you get into that plane knowing, like, with full on knowing that you will not exit that plane. Full on knowing that you will, out of your, like, own volition, kind of, will just, like, steer that plane into a ship or whatever, like a base or a tank, or I don't know what else they targeted, but, like, that's just crazy.
Suffered through the terrible fighting, but in 2 months, the island was captured. The Allies now had to make a choice. Either continue the devastating struggle up the Japanese mainland, or they could try to coerce the Japanese into surrendering now. In July, the first successful atomic bomb test took place in New Mexico, and the destructive weapon was ready for use. America and the UK were also seeing the Soviet Union not so much liberating as occupying its captured territories, and so they wanted to put on a show of force. On August 7th, the A-bomb fell on Hiroshima. On the
Nagasaki. Yep. The two bombs that, sadly enough, all the human life that was lost, obviously, sad. But, hey, it gave us anime. we have to see the good out of this. It gave us anime. It gave me Pokemon. I only opened the card pack a few minutes ago. I see the good in it.
The cities were reduced to rubble, and for the people living there, it was a terrible fate. But for the Allies,
oh my god, look at that.
In September, the Emperor
I want to visit Japan, Nagasaki or Hiroshima one day, just to see it.
To Japan's advantage. After 6 years, war was finally over. The Allies occupied Japan for 8 years. The Emperor was allowed to keep his position, but General MacArthur made sure this picture was printed in the Japanese press.
Oh yeah, I think I saw a movie about this or something. Or like a scene on TikTok. I saw, I think, some like scenes on TikTok about this, were like with the emperor and like the general, but like it was that actor. I forgot the name of him though, but it was pretty nice.
Displayed to the Japanese people that their emperor was not the divine,
not as tall
they had believed. Germany was divided between America, the UK, France, and the Soviet Union. In 1949,
divided Germany
were united into West Germany. The Second World War had been more terrible and destructive than the first. In its aftermath, two major superpowers with two very different ideologies had come out victorious, and the tension between the two of them would create a new kind of war. A very, very cold one.
Good one. But the Cold War is for another time, chat. This was World War II. I hope we all learned something. Let's just hope no country will repeat any mistakes. Ha, 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 Germany. Ha, ha. Germany. Do not forget to like and subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.